Okay, so this is the first round of combat. Um, you can see he has 47, so that's 8 ranks. He's gonna be sticking around with Steadfast for quite a while. I do a fair bit of damage here. I think I killed 6 or 7, so I win by a fair bit. But he sticks around with Steadfast, rerollable 9. Not a big deal. My plan is to flank charge with the Dryads there, and have my Alter Kindred be ready to help out with another battle. That was my idea anyways. Um, I move my Eagle around, ready to flank charge these Leadbelchers, or you theoretically rear charge the Iron Guts. If I get a chance to bring my Lord into combat with them, just sheer wounds could do pretty significant damage. With a little bit of combat res from rear charge here would be great. Here I've moved my BSB out here so I could fire my Hail of Doom arrows. I think I get 4 or 5 shots on his general, and I fail to wound with any, so he doesn't even have to roll to save himself on the last the last wound. My 3 Glade Riders do wound once, and he saves that, so he flashed before his eyes. I thought I was going to take it out with my Glade Riders. Anyways, you can see what's happened. I charge my Dryads in, and I have 25 weapon skill 4 or 5, strength 4 attacks, and I killed like 12 or 14 of them and just annihilate. He's still steadfast, and so he's, so he sticks around. You can see my Alter Kindred. I did not bring him into contact, which was silly, because that would have been a whole bunch more attacks, and I could have perhaps eradicated this army even more quickly, and or bring him back so I could have an avenue to charge out of. I didn't do either, so it was really silly on my part. He's kind of stuck back in there. This would be in the BSB unit that I would have loved to have charged, and that my Eagle could have charged the rear. I'd have a ton of attacks with my Lord, especially with his 3 extra wounds. That would be on the round I charged 9 weapon skill, 9 attacks, and either strength 4, I could buff him to strength 7 with potion of strength and just lay down a world of hurt, and that would probably kill a whole lot, not a whole lot of attacks back, and with charging and a rear charge I would have pretty high combat res and be able to do pretty well. But of course I pin myself back in there, don't get to do that. So instead I decide to shoot at them, and I shoot with all my Glade Guard. I hit with a whole bunch, and rolling to wound, I roll, this is what I roll. I might have wounded with 1 and pulled that one out or something. I think I rolled a 6, but other than that, I rolled 7 1s, 2 2s, and a 3, or however it works out. Excuse me, pretty ridiculous. It's kind of how it started to go with magic rolls and shooting. I started to roll really, really poorly at the end of the game. It was pretty funny. So he's done the Bone Crusher, Brain Gobbler, whatever, where it's 2d6 strength 2 hits. He's taken out 5 of these guys. I passed my panic. He took 5 out of my 7 War Dancers, and I'm never able to buff them up. You did that one round and then this the next, and so I'm starting to get whittled down pretty good and have less and less to buff myself up with here. But I'm still hanging out here, getting ready to shoot. Luckily, immune to psychology, I don't flee with a whole lot. These guys are pretty high with the general right nearby, and they don't flee, which that would have been devastating. So here's just a cool picture of my BSB after he failed to wound or kill the general. He's not fighty enough to go into combat, but I've got I'm just setting up here so I can get everyone into combat. The whole plan with the Alter Kindred all over again. He brings his Leadbelchers around. They shoot into my Warhawk Riders and do 1 wound. I got pretty lucky. He only rolled 4 shots. He got to fire them each twice, which was pretty good. It worked out pretty well. I couldn't charge him because he reloaded and would get to stand and shoot and didn't blow himself up. And here's a general overview of what's going on. So you can see that we're being really cautious. We played a lot of like forward and back, neither of us wanting to commit without being able to win, except for this one unit of Gnoblars. He wanted to tar pit my guys. And you can see in the far corner there, he's then charged his general into the flank of my Wild Riders. He does it maximize units, and has it set up so it'll overrun into my BSB, which is a great thought, except for the fact that I'm going to destroy the Gnoblars and win by combat res. There's just a cool shot of some bulls moving around even closer. You can see they're buffed up, so they're even harder for me to kill. And I kept forgetting to try to dispel, and I don't have a strong enough magic phase. But I do have a strong combat phase against Gnoblars. Sweet, go Wood Elves. So I get pretty lucky. He does 5 wounds. I save 2 of them from his general. I kill a whole mess of Gnoblars, and I'm able to scare him off, and he flees. Of course, I don't get to pursue because he rolls his leadership for his Gnoblars first, and his general flees, but I'm still stuck in combat. But it sets me up with his fleeing general. I can now charge his general with my Glade Riders, which I do, and you can see how much I miss by. Quite fitting, because the round before he had charged his massive unit of bulls at my Glade Guard and missed by, half an inch. And he, like just over 11 inches, he rolled an 11. While I roll, he only flees 2 or something, and I miss him by this much, so it was quite fitting. Pretty hysterical, actually. I take this opportunity to charge here into the flank. And then in the very back, you can't really see it, but I charge my eagle into his Leadbelchers. And my thought here is just to try to do some wounds, hopefully try to break them. Of course, they're, more ranks, so, I lose one guy. He stays. You can see his generals in the background. I end up killing him with 1 wound from my 3 Glade Riders, which is just so awesome. He's not dead yet. But you can see here kind of how it's all facing up. Excuse me. So my Warhawk Riders, they lose one Warhawk, so that means I don't have a full rank. And he is steadfast rerollable with the BSB and doesn't flee, doesn't break. When I win combat, I flee away, he reforms, makes his test, and so he'll be able to charge me. My Great Eagle, however, does win combat, which is pretty great. He survives with 1 wound left, and the Leadbelchers break. They flee into the flank of the Iron Guts and then through the bulls and end up on the other side. So they're far away, and I don't catch them, or I roll incredibly low. Here goes my magic phase. I roll double 1s, so I get 2 dice, and he gets 1, and he also rolled Winds of Change and got a second one, I think. And then the last round I rolled 2 and a 1, so he got 2 and I got 3 and rolled 6 again. So here you can see he's reformed. He's going to charge my guys. You can see here his Leadbelchers are gone, and they've headed all the way through. I've been whittling these guys down. I do bring my Lord into combat just to get some extra killing this round and knock him down. He's reformed, so he gets a few more attacks or something like that, but I kill him down to the last 3 models, and he's no longer steadfast, and he breaks. So that goes pretty well. I have a lot of attacks, a whole lot of attacks against these poor little Gnoblars, but they've really served well to keep me tied up. Here you can see his bulls here have charged through and caught my Warhawk Riders and run them off the board. We get into this combat, and this is pretty funny. He charges in, impact hits, does a bunch of wounds. I miss. I roll fear. I actually wounded 4 times, but I roll fear and have to re-roll all that and don't wound any. But he kills my guys to a man. Here's all of his attacks. This is how many attacks he has. It's pretty amazing, and he rolls pretty well. So he hits with this many dice. I don't even know how many that is. And then he's rolling to wound, and my toughness 3 is just so pathetic. So he, this is how many wounds he does. 14 wounds, kills me to a guy before he even gets to his stomps, and it's pretty funny. I think I did 1 wound on him. So here you go. My guys are just gone. He's got a standard. He overruns to get off the board, so I can't flank charge him. Just miracle happens and take him out. Here I pursue with both of these guys, hoping to get my altar out where I can charge his unit of bulls or something. And none of us catch the Gnoblars. Excuse me. None of us catch the Gnoblars. But I've got my lord here able to charge the bulls, and I charge my last turn. I don't reach him because he flees, but there's, I have to be fled off the board now to get points. And this is basically how we finish. I've killed his general, his Leadbelchers, his Gnoblars, and he's killed my Warhawk riders, and I feel like something else, but that might be it. And I end up winning. No, I have more points than him, but not double. So we have a draw. It was a really great game. Thanks for watching.